All right, we're a couple of minutes late. We thought maybe we'd tease you a little bit because we know you're all really excited to join us here tonight. And I'm really excited to do this. It's nice to be getting together. I'm a bit of a heavy rescue fan as well. I got the preferred towing heavy rescue on here tonight. I lost the tie. I might have a couple of special plaques hanging on the wall here as well. Collin Vandenheuvel from Preferred Towing, and of course, one of the stars of Heavy Rescue 401. Thanks for joining tonight, buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
You're welcome.
It's awesome. So, yeah, we're looking forward to getting live here.
Yeah, well, you've got lots of people out there already. I've got some questions. And, folks, we're going to get to your questions in just a moment. I promise we won't talk too much because we know you want to get talking to Collin here. But just a couple things I wanted to clarify about the current situation with you right now. How much has the coronavirus affected how you do your daily chores, if you will?
So it's obviously a little bit different around the office. Customers aren't allowed into the office front anymore, so they have to call the phone number or our preferred towing number, call the office, and then from there we can determine if they need to get access to a vehicle in the compound or if they're looking to book a service and all that. So yeah, it's a little bit different on that end of things. As for the regular towing side of things, we're no longer taking customers along with us. We've had to opt out of that, as obviously there are circumstances where customers are stranded and they do need to come along with us. In those cases, we have these masks that we wear just to protect us. And if the passenger has a mask, we ask that they wear a mask as well. From there, we have disinfectants. So once the passenger is out of the vehicle, we disinfect the entire truck, make sure that everything's cleaned up and we don't pass anything along to anyone. If we have to enter anyone's vehicles, we have rubber gloves to protect them and to protect us. So there's a few little differences here and there, but overall, it's worked out pretty well.
Yeah. What? Pardon me. And you seem to, like, everybody you're dealing with along the way is accepting the new conditions and cooperating with you when you meet up with them.
Yeah, everyone seems to understand, these are different times and everyone's doing a very good job at working together to help slow the spread of this disease, this virus. So, it's nice to see that. It's nice that everyone's working with us and working as a community.
Yeah, for sure. Heavy Rescue 401. We were just talking before we've been talking for a few minutes, folks, before we turned the camera on. It's been a good conversation, but there's been 4 seasons of Heavy Rescue 401, but actually this kind of has been going on for about 6 years now. Kind of explain how this all came around for yourself and your family at Preferred Towing.
So all of a sudden one day we got a phone call from a producer saying, hey, we make the show out west, Highway Through Hell. We're looking to start a show out in the Toronto area, but we're searching for other companies, and we've been tossed your name a few times. So my dad took that initial phone call about actually 7 years ago, and from there it just kind of snowballed. They sent a cameraman down one winter, about 6 years ago, 6 winters ago. He came down, took a look, did a little bit of filming with us, and took that back. We didn't hear anything for a few months, and then next thing we know, we're getting a phone call, the show is a go, and then had to wait another few months until the next winter, and then camera people were up on our front porch, and the rest is history.
Yeah. And you've really become recognized in all of this. We were talking a few moments ago about kind of the first time somebody really came up to you and said, hey, I think I know you. And then they realized it was on that Heavy Rescue 401 show on the Discovery Channel. What kind of feeling was that like?
It was different. I honestly never expected anything like that. So it was really odd, and it was just, it takes you out and kind of puts you aside for a second to think about things like, wow, people are really watching this show and it's popular. So it was a neat experience. It really was.
And probably a hint of season number 5, I would think, at some point in the future.
Yep. So we've finished up filming season 5 there this winter. It had to be cut short because of everything going on, but they got quite a few good recs with us and quite a few good little jobs. So it's going to be pretty neat.
Very good. All right. Well, let's go over to the comments a little bit here. I know people, they don't want to listen to you and me talk. They just want to talk to you. Lots of people saying hello. Sydney's out there saying you and your dad are two of my favorites on the show.
Thank you, Sydney.
And we'll come back to that question in a moment, saying lots of hellos here. We want to get as many of the hellos here. We're going to try to keep up with everybody as much as we can, folks. And oh, hi, Lisa. Also, we got hello from Fredericton, New Brunswick. Wow. Look at that. And Steve's there. We got Joe's happy he can watch tonight.
Hey, Joe.
There you go. South Dakota loves you too.
Hey, Jared. There's Jared.
And Toby. And Catherine, preferred towing, best company out there. All right, so let's get started with the questions. I'll stay on for just a moment here so we can get you caught up. But let's start with the first one here from Danielle. Hi, Collin. How old were you when you started working with your dad? And by the way, your dad looks very young and a good worker. Could see why you'd like to be your dad. How old were you when you did get started?
So I started off at 18. It was more of a part-time thing because I was going to school for business marketing. So I would come in on my weekends. I would travel from London to Sarnia and work on my weekends off. And yeah, that's kind of how I got started there. So 7 years into it now.
Very good. And you went to school in Europe. Ray wants to know, what did you study and where exactly?
So I was over in The Hague, Netherlands, and I was studying business marketing. So I took, it was like an exchange program through Fanshawe College. They actually offered this really great program. And I was able to go over there and take all the courses that I would have been taking here in Canada over there. So it kind of immersed me in a bit different of a business experience because the way they do business over there is considerably different than what we do over here. So it was neat to get that perspective from them.
Okay, great. And we'll keep going here.
What do I like most about my job? Every day is something different. It's never two jobs are the same. We are always doing something different. It really makes you think. It keeps us on our toes, really. So it's kind of neat that way. Hi, Jason. Yeah. Thanks, John. Yeah, it's I'm usually wearing my hat. I have it on the side table with me. It just wouldn't work out with the lights, but yeah, I decided that I'd not be wearing a hat today. Oh, Andrew, the worst accident that I have been on. There's been a number of accidents. Unfortunately, as part of this job comes, we do have to deal with fatalities. Obviously, it's not something that is the best thing that we have to go deal with, but we're out there. We're trying to make the situation better. And that's the way that we try to look at it. We didn't create the situation. We're just trying to make it a little bit better. Hi, Jackie. Stephen. Well, thank you for watching from Newfoundland. That's pretty awesome. Hi, Jeremy. So I see I was FaceTiming with your son there. That was pretty awesome. Yeah, we got to show him our new truck there, and I know he was pretty excited to see that. We loved his message back. That was pretty awesome. We're glad he's enjoying the show. And yeah, hi, Ryan. Hi, Ray. Yes, so Dutch last name, Vandenheuvel. My grandparents actually immigrated over from the Netherlands just after the Second World War. Melody asks, any comments on the difference between the comments that you and other small town companies have seen versus the big city companies? Um, actually, we've been doing all right down here. Sarnia's got a bit of a niche. We've got a lot of refineries here, so um, our company, we do a lot of float work and equipment moving. So the towing side of things, yes, it has slowed down considerably since this whole thing has started. Aside from that, though, the float work, the equipment moving side of things has kept us pretty busy. I can't speak for many other companies out there. I do know that it has taken a bit of a toll on the industry. We're just very fortunate where we are that we have a diverse community. Rachel asks, is the winter the worst time as far as accidents? That is a good question, actually, Rachel. It kind of depends, really. It can be, quite considerably worse during the winter because we do get the lake effect squalls where, you can't see anything, and those do whip up out of nowhere. There's no real warning to the snow effect, lake effect snow. So yeah, it does get a little bit scarier out in the winter for sure. Catherine asks, what is the most memorable moment you have from being as part of Heavy Rescue 401? For me, actually, that's being a part of the community, being able to use this to help others in the community. And my mom's done a very good job with that. She's opened up a homeless youth shelter, and we've been able to support our community through that. For me personally, it's neat because I grew up watching shows on the Discovery Channel, um, and I had my role models on the channel, and now hearing from other youth and kids who are about the same age who are just absolute fans of the show and say, I love watching what you do and it inspires me to do something like what you do. That to me is one of the, coolest parts of doing this. Hi, Jana from Exeter. Michael Bokar, have you guys sold the other two rotators? So no, we do not have them sold yet. We've had a lot of interest in them. With everything going on right now, obviously the market's kind of slowed down, unfortunately. One is actually sitting at the NRC dealership in Cambridge, and they've got it on consignment for us, and the other one's at our yard. But we've been able to use the two rotators, help out around the yard, so you might catch something of that on the next season. Toby, can I get an autographed picture from you? We do have posters. That is no problem. If you can contact the office, we can set up something. We just have to have you pay for the postal to get it out to you there. But yeah, the posters themselves are free. We wouldn't mind if you were to buy a hat or a T-shirt or something like that to help support our charity. That would be greatly appreciated too. Patricia asks, if you're not Dutch, you're not my... I get that one a lot. That is a good one. I like that one. Steve asks, what is your new truck? So we've got a new 65-ton rotator. We purchased that. Well, we've been in the works for that one for about 2 years now. It's been a pretty good project for us for the last 2 years, and you'll get to see that come to fruition on the next season of Heavy Rescue. Matthew asks, hi Collin, does Preferred Towing operate smaller tow trucks or just heavies? How many wreckers do you guys have now? Love the show from Osage Beach. Yes, Matthew, we have actually 5 light duties in our fleet. My light duty is a 2006 Ford F450 with a little wrecker on the back. That's what I grew up learning how to use, and that's been my truck since I started. I still hop in that truck. I do the night light duty work. So during the days, I'll do the heavy work, and at night, I'll do the light duty stuff. As for total trucks in the fleet right now, we have 15 or 16 units. I can't quite remember off the top of my head. Tracy asked, does OPP really stress how much time you take off an accident? So that's a good question, Tracy. We're very fortunate down in our area. We have a very good working relationship with the OPP, and they work with us as per timelines. And we're very fortunate too, because the 402 isn't as busy of a highway as the 401. So we do get a little bit more in time concessions on doing these jobs, but we do our best to make sure that we limit our impact on traffic by only taking a single lane if we have that option, or if we do have to close the road, it's for as minimal time as possible. Jackie asks, have you worked with Office Labadie from Milton OPP? Officer Labadie. I may have in the past. I don't know every officer by name. We work with quite a few different officers, so I'm sure I've seen them out on a recovery or something in the works. But we do see a lot of officers. William asks, how often do you folks refuel? You drive a lot of miles. So yeah, it just depends on the day. Every truck's different on fuel consumption and how much the fuel tanks can hold. We're pretty regular at the fuel station, though. I think we're probably in there once or twice a day with a different truck. Mary asks, what do you do with all the wreckers and junk you collect in the yard? So we're fortunate. A lot of the stuff does go through insurance, and we do have a lot of stuff that gets picked up, and from there the insurance companies take it to different auctions, take it off our facility. But we do get stuck with a lot of lighter duty vehicles like cars and trucks and stuff like that. Those we have to go through a process of sending out registered letters, and the whole process takes about 60 to 90 days by the time all the paperwork and all the notifications are sent out. From there, we are to dispose of the vehicle as needed. Melody asks, was thinking more along the lines, you guys survey a scene, get set up, and just stay calm and get the job done. Some of the other companies just seem to hurry, go, go, go. So yeah, part of the whole thing is, being prepared and getting the equipment you need on scene the first shot around, instead of having to try to get set up and then find out you need something else on scene, because that obviously does take more time. If we can get everything out in one shot, it limits our time and our impact on traffic. My dad's been very good at doing that planning, and he's been teaching me a lot over the years as to how to assess a scene, see what trucks you need, and the questions to ask as to what we need. Ray asks, I do enjoy both of the towing shows, but being from Guelph, this is my favorite. Well, thank you, Ray. We're happy to be able to show our local areas and support our local economies. Joe asks, what advantages have you found with the new next generation NRC rotating? So, it's a whole technical experience for us now from our other two generation of trucks. We've actually now owned all three different generations of the rotators. Now we're seeing this truck is a lot more capable than both of the other trucks. It's a lot stronger than both of the other trucks, which is pretty impressive. We've been able to do some pretty impressive jobs with it. We had a loaded garbage hauler, which you'll get to see on season 5. And the things that truck could do on that call were just amazing. And for the technical side of things, we're now able to see the weights that we're dealing with, whereas our other two trucks didn't have the scales on them. And just the smoothness of the operations of the truck, it's a lot smoother than the older generations for sure. Tyler, you guys were down in Des Moines a few months ago. I'm from Ames, Iowa. I've been towing for 3 years now. Yes, so we actually travel through, we buy trailers out of South Dakota from Trailies, And we had a bit of an unfortunate accident on our last trip, and it turned out to only be a battery causing all of our problems. But it stranded us for just about a day there, so we ended up having to call one of our other drivers to bring us a new tractor down and tow our old one back. So yeah, it put a bit of a twist in our trip. Haley, hey, how's your quarantine going? Have you guys been getting a lot of calls? Well, Haley, it's been pretty good, thankfully. I hope everything's going good on your end. Nice to see another local face on here. So, um, yeah, we've been fairly steady with calls. Obviously, things have slowed down a little bit on our end, but as I said earlier, we're pretty fortunate with doing a lot of equipment moving right now, so that's keeping us busy. And other than that, it's allowing us to get the shop cleaned up because unfortunately, after a winter of work, it does get a little bit disorganized. So it's nice to get that extra time to clean that all up. Peter, have you ever thought of doing an exchange program where, for example, you could go work for Jamie Davis for a month and Jamie sends someone down to our company? So I've had a lot of people ask me that. I do think it would be kind of neat to do something along those lines because obviously it is a whole different ball game out there than it is over here as for equipment, as for just the terrain that they're dealing with and the weather that they see. You know, it's a lot different in both ends of the stick there. So I think it would be neat to do an experience like that because we would really get to see what they deal with, and they get to see the traffic we deal with. So I think that would be actually a pretty cool thing to do. Maybe one day. Paul, Whaley's towing out of Memphis, Tennessee. Need merchandise. So you can go on to our website, preferredtowing.com, and we have a merchandise section there. My mom will be able to help you out with that, or one of our office staff will be able to help you out with that. So if you get in contact with them, either through email or if you call into our phone number, which is on our website, they'd be happy to help you with some merchandise orders. Catherine, what is your favorite part of being a tow operator? The people, the trucks, or both? That's a good question, Catherine. I'm a bit of a car person, so for me, it's neat seeing all of these different vehicles and, getting to learn new things about vehicles. I've become more mechanically inclined over the last few years doing this job. Definitely takes a lot of car knowledge to start to figure things out so you know what's going wrong with a vehicle, because we do get a lot of customers who don't understand the full mechanics of a vehicle. So if I'm able to help a customer who thinks that they need a tow but it's actually just a boost, I'm able to at least help them go and get that boost and get their vehicle going so they don't need the tow. Darlene, how is the camera crew? Is there any time for any wreck? Such a coordinated effort. So realistically, it is a very chaotic thing when we're going out to these wrecks, but we're very fortunate. The camera crews are very good at what they do. The first year was obviously a learning curve for everyone, for us and for them. They were able to get a feel of what it's like working on the side of the roads with us, and they learned where to stand and where not to stand. And then from there, it actually worked out very well. They learned to respond very quickly. As soon as they get that phone call, they're making their way to the yard. They're like firefighters in a sense. They have all their equipment ready to go by the door, and when they get that phone call, they're either meeting us at the wreck or they're meeting us at the yard and getting everything set up to head out. There really isn't much time, and the camera people don't slow us down in any way, shape, or form. Jason asks, have you ever had a customer on a call ask you for an autograph? I have had that a few times now, and it is still a very interesting experience because, as I say all the time, we're just regular people doing a job that is now on TV. So it's kind of neat having that experience. Michael, which heavy duty truck are you assigned to? So I'm known as the floater around the shop. I don't really have a specific truck now. I did have the 50 ton at the start of season 3 there. Since then, I've kind of floated around. We've had a new guy come on to our team. He's worked for Metro for a few years, and now we've given him that truck. I just kind of go around to whatever truck they need me in. So I'm either in the new rotator, or I'm in the 50 ton. I'm in Mark's truck, the 09 heavy. I just kind of float around to whatever truck suits the needs of the job. Melody asks, I remember when you first started working in that light duty truck, bringing in work for me at the dealership. Well, thank you, Melody. Yeah, it's been a neat experience over the years. It's been fun. I've learned a lot over the years, and I've still got a lot to learn. And every day I'm out in the trucks, there's something new to be seen, and we're happy to do work for you. Jared, be honest, is South Dakota your favorite state? I haven't seen all the states yet, Jared, so I don't know yet, but it is pretty awesome. I do get a pretty good meal every time I come down there, so that's a good perk out of it. William, how far do you live from the yard when you get those late night calls? So I've actually recently moved out of my parents' house. I've purchased my own house, so I'm actually only 5 minutes from the yard now. I was only 15 minutes from the yard originally. Sarnia is a very small town, which is nice. You can travel across town in 15 minutes. So that's kind of the perks of Sarnia. So regardless of daytime and night, it was pretty easy to get across town, get the truck that I needed. I usually bring a truck home with me, but it's usually just my light duty wrecker. So if I need a flatbed, now it's a lot easier for me to run back to the yard and switch out. Lisa, hope the tow show is still a go for September. Unfortunately, I don't have any answers on that one. I don't know what it's going to look like with everything going on right now, the guidelines in place. So I don't want to get your hopes up, unfortunately, on this one. Oh, sorry, I missed Charlotte's there. Charlotte asks, do you know if the tow show has been canceled? Yeah, unfortunately, Charlotte, I don't know the answer to that one right now, but we'll keep you updated, okay? Joe, are you still considering going to Tennessee Tow Show in October? I will keep you posted on that, Joe. As of right now, obviously, depending on the guidelines, things are a little bit different here in Canada. So if the guidelines persist as they are, they may keep this travel ban on for a lot longer. So if they do keep the travel ban on, unless it's for necessary work, we're picking up something broken down over there, we won't be able to make it down. So I'll keep you posted though. Charles asks, thanks for your professionalism in the towing industry. You guys are top notch. Well, thank you, Charles. We like to convey a professional industry. It's not just us. This industry is a very professional industry, and we're happy to be a part of it. Nyla, what do you like when you have time off? What do I like to do when I have time off, if I ever do? Well, right now I do have a lot of time off. I'm a car guy, so I like hanging out with my friends, and we work on cars in our spare time. Other than that, we'll go out, we'll cruise around, go to car shows and stuff like that. Video games are also fun. I've been having a lot more free time, so I've been able to get back into some of my old video games and work through them again and check out some of the new games that I've been wanting to play. So it's a bit of a blessing in disguise with what's going on right now. Rachel asks, we see an hour of heavy rescue. How long does it actually take to film an episode? So I can't remember the exact number for what the time is for the episodes, what they film to what actually gets aired, but they condense essentially on the short end of things, we have 2.5 hours for a rec. On the long end of things, as you saw at the start of season 3, that was a 2-part episode. That was a 16-hour rec working on that one. So it really just depends on the rec, but they do a very good job at condensing everything and catching all the most important elements and compacting it down to between 20 and 30 minutes of actual airtime. So they do a very good job with that. Rosemary asks, what advice do you have for someone who may want to look into the towing career? You know, that's a very good question. I've been getting that a lot lately, and it's all about dedication, really, in this industry. Right now, there is no centralized training center for towing. A lot of companies do the towing on, or the training on site. All of our guys take training through RecMaster, which is a very good program, and we learn a lot from that and are able to transfer those skills to our new employees until they're able to go and take the courses themselves. Yeah, it's really just about the dedication and willingness to work, because obviously this isn't an easy industry to be in. You are out of the house and away from family quite often. So you just have to be prepared, and you have to have a partner who is really willing to accept that. And I've been very fortunate. My girlfriend's very open to that. She understands that there are going to be nights where I'm out all night working. Carolyn, how do you guys get paid for towing? Never see that on the show. So that is something that obviously is a little bit harder to show on the show, because we do a lot of the billing for the bigger wrecks after the fact. You know, that's not something that we do right on the scene. As for the light stuff, the little jobs, it's all by the hour and per truck. So depending on the equipment we have there, depending on the hours we have into it, and, you know, if we need extra help from, you know, outside sources, obviously we have to include those into our bill. So a lot of the stuff, those bigger wrecks, they get looked through. We take our pictures during the wreck to have time stamps, so that way we can see what time we started, the equipment we have on scene, and then from there we have a spreadsheet that we go into and we can plug away all of our information, so that way we have a bill. Steve, do you drive a car or truck when you're off work? I used to have a little S10. I now have a little Focus, so I don't have a pickup truck anymore. Mind you, it would be nice to have a pickup truck. I've been dishing around the idea of buying another pickup truck again, just for doing some chores around the house. It's nice to have. William, when you go to South Dakota, where do you cross into the States? So that's actually a really neat thing about Sarnia is it crosses right over into Port Huron, Michigan. And we are able to cross the Blue Water Bridge, which is about 10 minutes from our yard. And we're about an hour and a half away from Detroit. So it's a nice little entryway into the States. And from there, we just take the I-94 or the I-69, whichever way. Tyler, was there difficult recovery you had to recover? Oh, there's been many over the years. It's one of those things, you're always learning in this job. So for me, personally, I've had a few that I've struggled with over the years. Learning up in the business, I did have a bit of an advantage. You know, I've been riding in the tow truck since, well, the day I was born. I was taken home in a tow truck. So yeah, it was kind of nice getting that experience and having that experience over the years.
All right, well, Colin, you've certainly scaled through a lot of questions that our live audience is enjoying the responses. I think they've. I remember when I posted this to go live, it was like immediate. There was a response. People were so excited. So, folks, if you've got some more questions, we're live in multiple places. The best place, though, we can't see the comments everywhere. Make sure you come over to Colin's Heavy Rescue page, Collin V. I'll put that up on the screen in case you happen to be watching from somewhere else. Colin, have you received any texts or emails or maybe common questions that weren't asked today that you want to talk about?
Yeah, actually, a good one is, how old am I? I'm 25. I turned 26 at the end of this month. A lot of people always wonder about that one because, I get, oh, you're really young to be doing this, and holy, you're driving one of those big trucks, and you're so young, and so that's been a neat experience. Another one is how long I've had my AZ for now. This is 4 years now for me for the AZ. I've been doing the heavy side of things though for about 3 years, 2.5, 3 years. The first year and a half, I was just doing a lot of the tractor float work, getting the feel for the bigger trucks, because obviously it's a lot different of a ball game hopping in those big trucks than it is the light duty stuff.
Yeah. What about, I have a question I've always wondered, because I've known your family for a long time, right? So I have that privilege of getting kind of the inside scoop a little sometimes, folks. Between you and your dad, obviously he's taught you so much of what you know. And then your mom is sort of more behind the scenes. So we've seen what your dad teaches you, but your mom, as far as the towing industry goes, what has she done to teach you and impact you on how your career is right now?
She's the one who actually pushed me along to go do the business marketing program. So that was her thing, was getting that step forward, taking business classes so I could expand on what we have already. And it's funny. I took the courses just before we got the call for the phone or for the show. And I remember one of my classes, my teacher was going through different scenarios and different business types. And, I said, okay, so what would someone do for the towing industry? Because it's one of those businesses that anyone who drives, there is no demographic really. It's just anyone who drives. There is no age group that it affects more. So, we kind of went through that. What would be the best forms of advertising? And it was funny. He was like, well, newspaper in a small town, radio ads work very well. And I had worked on those while I was in school. I had done some radio ads for the company. And then he said, the only thing that you're ever going to do that's really going to give you any more publicity is get on a TV show. And I laughed because I never expected that in a million years. And now I have to look back and say, if I could go back to that teacher and show him, that would just be hilarious.
Right. Obviously, there's a lot of safety issues that happen when you're out on the road, yes. And I wanted to bring this up because I've seen you and your dad talk about it before, and your mother as well. You see some things that most of us don't necessarily see, and you see some pretty upsetting. Like you're like a first responder in a sense of you're the first ones on the scene. And that can have some, I would think, stress and mental health issues that go along with this type of career. Can you share some experience with that and how you've been able to handle it?
Yeah, so obviously there are some pretty unfortunate accidents that we have to go to. We did have one actually just the last week involving a transport driver that had passed away. And unfortunately, sometimes we do have to be there to help firefighters and the EMS to secure the trucks or the vehicles to assist with their jobs. For us, there is no set coping programs that we can take, but our company has taken the initiative to offer the counseling to our drivers, to myself. My mom, being a child and youth worker, she's had these experiences being able to do the counseling and all that. So she's been a very good resource for our staff and for everyone in our family. And that, this definitely is not an easy job. And Some of my scariest moments have been in black ice, and they did actually catch one of those on the show. We were coming back from a late night tow call, and the camera crew hopped in with me. I was just in my light duty coming back from London, delivering a vehicle. They wanted to get some, just shots of the road and the conditions, and we came across a 3 transport and 1 pickup truck in the ditch. And while we were there, I had thought the road had been shut down because there was no traffic coming. So I went out to the center median to go check on everyone. And while we were in the ditch, the pickup truck was able to cut his trailer off and get to the other side of the ditch. And they didn't end up catching any of this. Luckily, we were far enough away when it all happened. But the pickup truck ended up getting hit. The driver and all that, they were all okay. But because that truck was hit, the transport that had hit them was right across the road. And while we were walking between a couple of the trucks to talk to some other drivers to make sure everyone was okay, another truck came into the ditch, and fortunately it missed us by quite a few feet. But that had to have been probably one of the scariest things I've come across in this business. I've witnessed 2 transports colliding on a side road. I was just 100 feet away, and I had made a post actually about that one, so I do have pictures from that one. But everyone was fortunately okay in that one as well. But it helps having the counseling through my parents and whatnot, and I do understand that this is something that we don't have any control over. We don't have anything to do with these accidents. We're just there trying to alleviate the situation, make it a little bit better. So that's kind of my personal coping method with this, is knowing that I'm just there trying to help.
Yeah. Well, good for you for the way you handle things, and it's good to have that support by your side, I guess. Not so much even just behind you, but right beside you and there with you. And we've got some more questions coming here. I'll go back to them in just a moment, folks. If you've got some more, we're here till about 8 o'clock, so we've still got some time to talk to our friend Collin Vandenheuvel, one of the stars of Heavy Rescue 401. The towing industry itself has certainly changed a lot over the years, from just how things get done with new technology in vehicles, etc. But the professionalism that's been put forward from Preferred Towing in particular, and many of the others around in the industry, 5 years down the road, and I know your mom and your dad and yourself and have got probably some plans on how they want to impact this towing industry. What is Preferred Towing looking to do there?
So as a company, we're part of the Provincial Towing Association of Ontario. And we're working very closely with the government, trying to create standards for companies, not only just for, the public safety, but for our safety as well. Because while we're out there, it is nice to have the protections while working on the side of the road. And that is one of the things that has been neat for me, being able to travel over to Europe. I've been able to see how they do things over there and really understand the towing industry over there. And it is so far ahead of what we have over here. So being able to see that stuff, and maybe being able to implement some of the stuff I've seen over there to the industry over here would be amazing, I think. And I really do think in the next few years you are going to see major changes in this industry, and not only just with our company, but with many of the other companies doing a very good job at being professional and conveying this industry in a professional light.
Very good. Well, we'll look forward to seeing more of those changes come down. All right, we're going to go back to some questions here. And again, we've got about 15 minutes left to talk to our friend Collin Vandenheuvel. So get those questions and comments coming along and take advantage of them. So one of them is, are they doing another live stream? I have a feeling we'll be doing more of these in the future. So
I think so. Yeah, it's been fairly popular. So that's good to see. I had no clue what to expect doing this, so I'm excited to see that everyone is enjoying it. So yeah, I think we'll be doing another one. I'll be trying to get my dad in on it, and we'll do a family one. Patricia asks, how long has the business been going? So as of actually the start of this month, it was 29 years that we've been running, Patricia. Darlene asks, or Darylyn asks, keep doing these videos, Collin. Very informative. Best of all in your new place. Thank you very much. Yes, we're enjoying this. And thank you. It's nice having my own place. Joanne asks, hi there, Collin. Thank you for the birthday wishes from you and your dad. You're very welcome, Joanne. Happy special early birthday. Well, thank you very much. Ron, I know you ride your motorcycle, but want to venture out on a bicycle in the next year and do a Gran Fondo. I think that would be fun, actually. I'll have to buy a new bicycle because the last time I rode a bicycle, it's been a few years, so my bike's a little small, so I will have to purchase a new bike. But yeah, I think that would be fun. Rachel, happy early birthday. Thank you, Rachel. Tyler, do I have a favorite tow truck? Oh, my heart always lies with my little light duty wrecker, my Start, because without that truck, I wouldn't be where I am today. So that truck, it holds a special place in my heart. Carl, thank you, Carl, for the happy birthday. Nyla, happy early birthday. Thank you. Tammy, happy early birthday. Thank you. Carl, I still remember seeing preferred towing 1 ton on London line 20 years ago. Yeah, it's come a long way since then, for sure. We've, I think I know exactly what you're talking about with our first location there on London line. And since then, we've moved to 2 other locations to where we are today. So we've come a long way. John, thank you, David, for the video, and bless your family for the efforts and your help to drive churches. Well, thank you very much, John. It's been awesome to be able to help out communities, and yes, thank you, Dave, for helping host this, because I have no clue how to do half this stuff that we're doing right now. So it's been very helpful. Melody, with the fire department, we have critical incident stress management program. Yes, so a lot of the first responders do have that, and that is part of the thing that we are working with the PTAO, is to be included in that, to have those resources for our industry. Joanne, thank you, Collin, for everything you do. The same goes to your dad and the other guys on your team. Thank you, Joanne. Yes, our team is very dedicated and they work very hard for us. And without them, we wouldn't be where we are today. Andrew, when you were on doing the vehicle slow down, pulling over. So yes, when we're on scene, we are seeing that people are starting to slow down and move over since the show has aired. There has been a dramatic increase in that, which is very nice, because working on the side of the road is hard enough without the traffic. And especially when they're only a couple inches away from you, it's nice to have that extra few feet. So yes, we are very appreciative that people are following the slow down and move over law, for sure. Tyler, will season 4 of Heavy Rescue be on TV? Yes, so season 4 has aired in Canada. I'm not sure if it'll air on TV anywhere else, but it has aired in Canada this past January, actually. Joanne, if you were not driving tow truck, what would you like to be doing? That is a good question. I've been asked that quite a bit, and ironically enough, at one point I was looking into a career in the film industry, actually, and growing up, I had a YouTube channel and I was working on videos with my friends. I wasn't very good at the editing side of things, but I was the guy running the camera, and I was doing a lot of the acting in the short skits that we were doing. William, does your mom still fix us a healthy lunch each Friday? So we don't do it every Friday, William. We actually do it once a month, the last Friday of the month. And yes, she still does do that. The Facebook page, we've been a little bit delayed on things as of lately, just with everything going on. We've been trying to manage a lot more influx of people coming onto our page. So we have missed a few of those postings, but yes, we do still continue to do the healthy lunches. Rachel, do you have any brothers or sisters? I do actually have a sister, but she's going on to naturopathic medicine. So right now she's in school for naturopathic medicines. So that's her career path. She doesn't want to come into the business. Joe, do you enjoy talking to others in the industry and sharing ideas? I know that meeting with Jason Davis was beneficial to us both. So yes, Joe, it's always nice actually talking with people in the industry. And as I said, when I went over to the Netherlands there and was able to see how things were done over there and really get an idea of how far advanced they are in this, it is neat. You know, it really does give you a perspective. It does give you a bit of a different frame of mind on how to do things. And, you know, there really is no handbook, as you know, in this industry, and everyone does things a little bit differently. And you can pick not even a full job and say, that's how I would do it. But if you can pick one piece from someone else's job and say, I really like how that was done, you know, you've learned something, you've accomplished something, right? Mary, I am in the States. What is a fondo? Did I spell that correctly? I think I might have missed something. I don't quite know.
I'd jump in there for you, Collin. I think she's talking about the Gran Fondo that you're asked to be in. So if you, the
Gran Fondo. So, sorry, just to leave.
So it's a large bicycle race that happens around here, the Gran Fondo.
Okay. Right, so that's what it is. Okay. I was a little bit lost with that. I was going to have to contact Vaughn on that one.
I would jump in and save you.
Thank you. I'm sure I was going to be getting a message from Vaughn anyways on that one. So
I'm sure. Well, you don't realize what you committed to.
Yeah. I have done a bicycle race before. I actually, in high school, I used to do track and field and triathlons. So I am more than willing to try out doing something a little bit further. The triathlon was a little bit shorter, but I'm willing to take on something a little bit more long distance.
Well, let's carry on. There's some more comments here to go. We're still here till about 8 o'clock, folks. If you've got some more comments, put them below and we'll get to them for sure.
All right. Jamie asks, Collin, I have a lot of respect for what you guys do. One day, I think my son and I will make the drive to meet you and your dad and your mom and the rest of the crew. That'd be awesome, Jamie. You know, obviously with everything right now going on, we do ask that we aren't going to be doing any of the meet and greets right now. But once this is all cleared over, we'd love to have you guys down and say hi and stop by and check out the facility. It's always nice meeting fans. Don asks, you and your family do such good for the community. Thank you so much. Stay safe. Thank you, Don. Yes, you know, it's much appreciated. The community has done a lot for us as well. It's just team effort. Mary asks, which part of the 402 has had the worst collisions? So that's a really good question, Mary, because a lot of people don't understand. So the 402 is a 100-kilometer stretch, about 60 miles between Sarnia and London. And the worst stretch is from Wyoming, which is about 25 kilometers outside of Sarnia, and it stretches all the way up to the other side of Strathroy, and that's where the lake effect snow comes into play. In the winters, it can whip up out of nowhere. So here in Sarnia, it may be sunny and bright, but as soon as you get out onto the highway, get out to about the 25-kilometer marker, it starts to get really nasty, and sometimes it can come up out of the blue, like it'll be clear, and then all of a sudden it's whiteout conditions. So that for us is probably the worst and most dangerous stretch of the highway, stretching from there to about Strathroy, which is about 70, 75 kilometers away from Sarnia. Melody asks, how much float do you allow on your landing gear before considering it unsafe and needing to re-rig on their gear? Ooh, that's a good question. So if you're asking as per like weight restrictions and stuff like that, we go in and we make sure that all of our equipment's rated for as much as we can possibly get it for. Obviously, we don't want to be carrying out massive chains because those get heavy, but we're rigging these things up, making sure that we're well within our working load limits. If that's the question you were asking, sorry, I just trying to read that and understand it. Joanne, my best friend drives for Pine Ridge Tow Truck, and I give a lot of credit to you tow truck drivers. Well, hello to Pine Ridge. Yes, I do know Pine Ridge Towing, so that's awesome. Andrew, happy early birthday, and thank you for all the hard work that you guys are doing up there. Thank you, Andrew, very much. Robin, how many people are in your company? So right now we have about, there's 8 of us full staff right now. We're a little bit shorter staffed, and that has nothing to do with the coronavirus. We've been able to keep everyone on full time, which is nice. But yeah, we've just had a few employee exchanges over the last little bit, and yeah, I guess it's a good time right now to have a bit of a smaller staff. But yeah, once this all kicks back up, our staff will grow again, and yeah, it'll be a good time. Joanne, please tell your mom a fan is really proud of her and all her accomplishments for the following her dreams. I will let her know, Joanne, for sure. Yes, she's very proud of what she's been able to accomplish, and we're all very proud of her for sure. Irene, love watching as I was born and raised in Hamilton and live out in BC now. Well, thank you very much for watching, Irene. And yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, it's a small world, isn't it? Toby, is there a future Mrs. Collin? Not yet. We're not engaged, but you know, we've been together now for 4 years, so she's been able to put up with my antics and the towing industry so far. So she's obviously doing a good job, and I know she's watching right now. So she'll, I'm sure I'll get a phone call later about this. Cheryl, hi, I'm Matthew, and I'm 8 years old. You rock, and I love watching Heavy Rescue. Thank you, Matthew, for watching. Crystal, how is your mom's Reno coming along on her new adventure? So the Renos are thankfully, they're all done. We finished those up just shy of a year ago now. So everyone's moved in, all the youth are moved in. So we have 11 youth in the house right now, which is full capacity. We have a waiting list for youth, which is a bit of a scary thought when you start thinking about our community of 70,000. That there is that much need for a place like that. But no, we're very fortunate, and we've got all the renovations done, so it's just running the place now. William, my wife always is concerned about how dirty your coveralls get. Is laundry ever able to get all those clean? Fortunately, we do have a third-party company who does all the laundry for us for the coveralls, because yes, that is quite the chore, but there are definitely some stains that do not come out. Once you get that grease on your coveralls, it stays. Melody, landing gear. Oh, okay. When pulling sideways, okay, it's tilting and towing. I see, sorry. So yeah, so we aren't too concerned necessarily about the landing gear. We just keep an eye on the angle of the trailer itself. We watch for the tires coming off the ground. Obviously, you know, since they're dual sets of tires, you can get the outside of the dual tires up off the ground a little bit, but that's about as far as you want to go with an empty trailer. Loaded trailers, obviously, you want to keep them on the ground because they do have a tendency of wanting to flip, especially if it's higher load. Tyler, will there be a season 5 of Heavy Rescue on TV? Yes, Tyler, there will be a season 5. It will air here in Canada next winter. I don't know an exact date, but I will keep everyone posted as to when everything's going on. And when I do know everything, I will definitely post it up. Mary, I am new to watching the show and listening to you. You have made it much more interesting, and we'll start watching much more. Thank you. Well, thank you, Mary. Glad that you enjoy the show, and glad to be able to make it interesting for you.
All right. Well, the fans certainly got their opportunity to talk with you tonight, Collin, and I would say it's worked out well.
It has. I'm very happy with the turnout, and I do want to throw one last little side note in, and I wanted to say this before we got started, but we jumped right into things. So I want to say thank you to all those frontline workers out there. Everyone in the healthcare field, everyone at the grocery stores, everyone going to work to make sure that everyone else's lives can keep going, and then everyone who's staying home right now to make sure that they're slowing the spread of this virus. We're very appreciative of that, and I thought that this would be a good kind of way to help people deal with the stress, because I know these aren't easy times, and everyone's a little bit uncertain of what's going to happen next. So I'm happy to be able to do this with everyone.
There's one more in here. I want to make sure that it was my bad that I missed it. I think I got to everybody, but there's a special request.
My 5-year-old wants to know if you guys will come to his birthday. Well, you can send us a message, Beverly, and we can work something out. If you're here in town, I'm sure we can be able to make something happen for you. So just send us a message, and that'd be awesome. And Matt, hey, Collin, it was a blast meeting you and your family at the charity dinner back in January. I hope you guys are staying safe. What are you guys doing for safety for yourselves and others this time? So right now, we're keeping customers out of the trucks. It's definitely a bit of a different time. Unfortunately, customers do have to find their own rides. If there is a situation that arises that a customer does need a ride, we are offering the rides. We're wearing our masks. We have masks that we carry along with us when we're doing services for customers. We wear rubber gloves, and then when the ride is done, we disinfect the truck to make sure that our safety is upheld and the customer safety is upheld as well. So that way, nothing is getting passed along to anyone.
Perfect. And I go back. I think I remember meeting Matt actually there. I think.
Yep.
He sat at the table with myself, my wife Jennifer, and your mom and dad, and him and his buddy came in from out of town.
Yeah, he is actually one of the first fans that I met through the show. So that was back at the auto show a few years ago. So that was kind of cool.
Okay. Perfect.
So, yeah.
Perfect. Well, I would say we're going to definitely have to do this again, and I'm definitely up for doing that with you as well. So we'll figure that out for sure.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Dave. This has been really awesome. This is great help because, as I said, I'm not very technical on this stuff. I know I'm younger, but everyone thinks I'm technical. I'm not very technical. Dave walked me through how to get everything set it up on this, so it was his work, his doings. So thank you, Dave, very much.
Well, I'm happy to do it. I've known your family a long time, and they've had a huge impact on my life as they have on so many as well. So I'm happy to do my part back in the community as well. So before we let you go, and thanks everybody for showing up here, there will be the replay will stick around. It's on Collin's page. It'll be there on my YouTube channel. It's also on the Preferred Towing Facebook page. So feel free to share it around and get your questions ready. We don't know when the next one will be, but we'll figure that out. Collin, is there anything else you want to do before we wrap up, sir?
I think we covered everything for right now. So thank you everyone again for checking this out and making it a great success. So yeah, it's been awesome.
Very good. Thank you, Collin Vandenheuvel from Preferred Towing and a star of Heavy Rescue 401. Season 5 will be coming, and we'll definitely keep you posted on that, and keep an eye out on the Facebook page. for the next time we go live. Until next time, stay safe, slow down and move over. Watch out for somebody on the road there that's doing the hard work. Until next time, bye for now, everybody, and good night.
Thank you.